The meeting of the Revere Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Bacilli? Mr. Corrin? Mr. D'Angelo? Excuse me. Ms. Mazzoni is absent. Mr. Colometto? Mr. Tucker?
Present.
Quorum is present. First application before the board is application A1604, continued from the meeting of last month. The application of Lucretia Deeran and Sheri Murray, 41 Irving Street, seeking variances under section 1728030, minimum required parking space dimensions and minimum driveway width dimensions of the revised ordinances to allow the applicants to convert a single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling at 41 Irving Street, Revere.
Good evening, Mr.
Good
Chairman.
evening.
Members of the board, my name is Attorney Lawrence Simeone. I represent the applicant in this continuing hearing. Again, you asked for a plan. I submitted the plan late yesterday by email and this afternoon. This is a plan that is certified, and I hired Robert Grover, who's a certified land surveyor. He's identified all the setbacks as I see them, and he's established that we have a right side setback of 8.5 feet, 8.5 feet, and that would make us short of 6 inches for the appropriate width of 2 parking spaces. This is a building that was constructed prior to zoning. It's a non-conforming building. It's a single family legally. It has always been a 2-family since 1996 based on the assessor's records. I believe once the 2 parking spaces are approved, the applicant will be able to go to site plan review and upgrade the apartment to the zoning, to the building code, and ask for an occupancy permit. I did happen to submit to somebody the case of Lombardi versus Wellesley Zoning Board, where in that particular case, the Supreme Judicial Court felt that something as minor as this, 5 or 6 inches, is a trivial exception. In this particular case, the house was built, as I said, prior to July of 1929, and so therefore the side yard setbacks and off-street parking were not a big deal back then. Nobody needed off-street parking. There was plenty of off-street parking available. Just happens to be when they located this building, they located it in a position that didn't have 9 feet on one side so that they could accommodate a new modern car and a new modern space. I think the hardship was clear. I also think it falls within the 4 corners of the Lombardi decision. And I also believe that the plan meets the requirements. I've read your requirements. Your requirements say a certified plan that shows setbacks. This is a certified plan that shows setbacks. The petitioner also has no opposition and has the petition signed by all her abutters. Her immediate neighbors, Ms. Rizzo at 37 Irving Street signed the petition, and Mrs. Hora at 47 Irving Street signed the petition, along with 8 other members. I know of nobody that's in opposition to the petition's request. She's a local lawyer and resident, along with her mother. I'll answer any questions the board has.
Okay, seeing that it's a public hearing, we can ask if there is any opponents, any proponents, anyone in favor? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? Does the clerk wish to elaborate on anything?
I had a conversation with the applicant's attorney and spoke to him about the situation, and he chooses to go forward.
Okay. All righty. Next calendar item number?
The next application before the board is application A1605. This is the application of Cavallo Corporation, 70 Victoria Street, Somerville, requesting a variance of Title 17, 1724, 1724-010, footnote A and Y. of the revised ordinances, requesting minimum front, side, and rear yard setbacks and maximum height of structures to enable the appellant to construct a single-family dwelling on lots 129, 130, and part of lot 128A at 7 Belcher Street, Revere, Mass.
Yes, hello. I'm Ron
Please
Cavallo.
state your name and
Yes.
address for the record.
Sure, my name is Ron Cavallo, and I live at 70 Victoria Street, Somerville, Mass. And I would like to build a house at 7 Belcher Street for my own use. The house is, the foundation of the house is as of right. It conforms to zoning. It's an Nantucket-style house. The bedrooms are on, there's a two-car garage under with a full foundation on piles, very expensive foundation. And then the bedrooms are on the first floor. It's a Nantucket-style house. The living room and dining room and kitchen are on the second floor. And I'm looking for relief for the balconies which face the ocean and a side deck. It's very important to me that I get those. The hardship is I have a physical limitation, and it would be a hardship for me to go down 2 flights to the ground level. If you look at the design of the house, it's a flat roof, traditional contemporary. And you can see, first of all, that it conforms to height, and it's got a flat roof, as I said. And the layout is such that the top floor is the living room, dining room, and kitchen, and you can see there's a 10 by 12 deck on the dining room, which, as I said, is very important to me in terms of the functioning of the house, because the living level is up 20 floors. And there are 2 small balconies that face the ocean. There's also a roof deck, all of which conforms to zoning. You can see that this house is actually lower than some of the adjacent houses. This shows the scale, and I'll bring this up to you so you can pass it around. I have pictures of also some of the adjacent properties, some of which are in good repair, some of which are in bad repair. But this, we believe, has limited impact because of conformance on height, et cetera, et cetera. The folks that just bought this property, which is all part of the same stage, were very aware that this house is going in and purchased it, and understand. I have my engineer here as well.
Okay, could you please step up to the microphone? This is on.
I have my engineer as well who will explain any of the other details about the house, and this is available to pass around along with the photographs that I have.
Okay, just for the record, you have submitted all of the documents that you're
Yes.
holding there as well as the pictures.
That
So
is correct.
we have them in front of us. There's no need for us to see them.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So I'll put my engineer up. The only thing I do want to say, is that because this is intended to be my personal residence, I'm hoping also, and this is probably a conservation effort, to do something that's a little atypical, and that is have the roof drain to a rain barrel, because I'd like to be able to utilize the rainwater for my garden.
Okay, that would be a conservation measure. but
I understand.
Thank you. Seeing that this is a public hearing, are there any proponents? Anyone in favor? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? No members wish to speak. Next calendar item number?
The next matter before the board is application A1606. This is the application of Jeffrey Larson, 19 Pierce Street, Revere, requesting a variance of Title 17, 1724, 1724 020 of the revised ordinances, requesting side yard setback and maximum principal building coverage variances to enable the appellant to convert 2 separate single-family structures to create a new single-family structure on Lot 28 at 19 Pierce Street, Revere.
Hi, Jeff Larson, I'm the homeowner. So he pretty much summarized it there.
Okay, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Jeff Larson, 19 Pierce Street.
Thank you.
My property currently consists of 2 separate structures, a legal 2-family. That's divided at any given point between 12 inches and about 6 feet. My proposal is to construct an addition about 140 square feet connecting the 2 structures and creating a single-family residence for my own use. There's two variances. One was the side variance, which the new construction will be less than the existing side variance. And also the lot ratio usage is increasing less than 1%. It's the proposed percentage will be 34.7%, which is still very close to what the code is.
Okay.
I have nothing else.
Thank you. Seeing that this is a public hearing, are there any proponents? Anyone in favor? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak?
This is going to become a single, right?
I'm sorry, sir?
You're going to convert this to a single,
Yes, two-family to a single family.
and that's what it's going to stay.
Correct, yeah. Yep, single kitchen.
Okay, we'll continue on with our next calendar item number. We vote at the end.
The next application before the board is application A1607, the application of Corey and Kerri Abrams, 252 Franklin Street, Reading, Mass., requesting a variance of Title 17, 1724, 17, and 1728, and Chapter 1732, Section 24010, 1728020, and Section 32040 of the revised ordinances to enable the appellant to construct a one-story retail flower shop on lot North Part 252 Bennington Street, Revere. We have a letter to the record submitted by Joanne McKenna, Ward 1 Councilor, which all the members have copies.
Okay. Good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue in Revere. I represent Corey Abrams and Kerri Abrams on some zoning relief to allow for the construction of a small flower retail shop on the property that's known as 252 Bennington Street. This is a very small lot between Crescent and Everard. We're requesting variances for specific dimensional and parking relief as laid out in our petition, which I incorporate as a part of this hearing. We've been in constant contact with the ward councilor, and she is highly supportive of this petition, and I believe you do have a copy of her correspondence as well. This is, in our research of this property, it's been something that's really sat vacant for about 60 years now. It was foreclosed by the city for unpaid taxes in 1956, and nothing has been done with it ever since. And it's an unusually shaped lot and situated in a way that, but for these variances, it will likely remain an underutilized and blighted piece of property in the city and in this neighborhood for potentially 60 years to come if nothing is done. That's why we're asking for these changes. We think they would be a big benefit to the city. They'd be increasing the property's commercial value and tax base for the city, and also allowing for the expansion of a hometown business. This is Kinship Floral. This is their second location that they're opening, so we're asking the board to support some local business here as well. Any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. Seeing that it's a public hearing, are there any proponents?
Good afternoon. My name is Kerri Abrams. I, at 245 Revere Street, I'm the owner and operator of Kinship Floral. I have been in business for almost 5 years at this location. What you may know is that we're a retail florist. What you may not know is that we specialize in wedding and event work. Our current location, we have outgrown that with regard to wedding and event work. This new location would service primarily wedding clients made through appointment only, special events, servicing the greater Boston area as well as Revere. We'd like to stay in the area. We would love for Beachmont to be our second home, and we're looking forward to it. We hope that you consider it. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor, do you wish to speak? No? Okay, all righty. Are there any other proponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Please step up to the mic and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Ron Ross. I live at 19 Kristen Lane in North Reading, Mass. And I own a property at 52 Bennington Street, which I think is the same as this 252 list. I'm at 52 Bennington. I own the house right there, my driveway's right beside it. Right. I don't know why that's 252, but unless it's just a segment of,
It got classified as a home.
yeah. But I just wanted no parking. It's a three-family home. And we have a driveway for my tenants, but the Beachmont station is right across the street. The Beachmont school is right there. And this lot is very small. I just wonder if there's enough parking to go there. Will they park in front of the driveway of my tenant's house? I don't know any issues that might bring parking-wise.
Okay. But you're the abutter to the left or to the right?
It actually takes a little chunk out of the lot. I bought this house about a year ago. But this land actually takes about a chunk out of the property that I have.
So you were utilizing their property?
No, it is truly vacant. There's a little fence there that cuts out that section.
Okay, but so if they put something there, you're going to lose a little bit of property that you're using right now? Is that what you're telling me?
No, don't use it all. It's fenced off of it. My yard is fenced, leaving that property separate.
Oh, okay. All righty. Thank you.
Just the parking is.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. We'll go on to the next count. Did any members wish to speak? We'll go on to the next calendar item number.
The next application before the board is application A 1608. This is the application of PNS Properites LLC, William Settipane, manager, 29 Piedmont Ave, Saugus, requesting a variance of Title 17, Chapter 1724, Section 1724.030D, the qualified lot ordinance, to enable the appellant to construct a single-family dwelling on Lot 62 Wolcott Road, Revere.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Joseph Cottogio, 1 Sprague Street, Revere, Mass., representing the applicant PNS Properites LLC, who's seeking to construct a single-family home on a vacant lot on Wolcott Street. As noted in our site plan review response, the lot is deemed non-conforming and not a qualified lot solely due to the existence of a very old shed that's on the lot. It is otherwise vacant and would have otherwise been a buildable lot using the dimensions that we've utilized in the plan before you. With that in mind, we set forth an application that meets all of the setback, coverage, height restrictions, and parking requirements for off-street parking. It is a single-family home. It is owned properly. We do have conservation applications which will follow, as well as the standard review by the building department and fire department. We have completed a set of house plans, if you wish to review those as well. Those have just recently been stamped by the fire department as being reviewed and approved. They weren't completed in time for the original application, but if you wish, I have a set for everybody. If
You're not asking for a variance for height, so we don't need to see the house plans.
okay.
Thank you, though.
Just wanted to make it available. Other than that, again, it meets all of the requirements. It is only less than 27% coverage, so we've taken into account the neighborhood, and we look forward to working with the city in constructing this single family. I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you. Seeing that this is a public hearing, are there any proponents? Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Ira Novoselsky, 53 D Home Street. I am the Ward 2 counselor. And as my tradition that I always do, especially for you, Mr. Chairman, is have a neighborhood meeting, which we did last Saturday. And I passed out to 25 homes in the neighborhood individually, and I did it myself. I walked the neighborhood, which is good exercise. But 3 neighbors came out and showed their expression that they're for this. The lot has been a disaster for many, many, many years, and the lot is owned by the house next door.
the owners next door. And he's been using it as a boatyard, literally as a boatyard for many years, which we got cleaned up last year, but now he's selling it, and we have no objections to building a one-family home down there. And of course, they have to go to Concom for their future applications. The only thing I would ask them is to remove that old signal pole in front of the property. That used to be a, Wolcott Road used to be a one-way going down, eastbound. Now it's a one-way going westbound. So I'd ask that that sign pole be removed, so that walkway will be, the sidewalk will be clear, and it's right in the middle of their, the property, so that's about all. So, thank you for your time.
Any other proponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Counselor, are you agreeable to his request?
Yes, if it's the board's intention to make that a condition, that's fine with us. We have no objection to being required to move that pole that's there.
Okay, so the removal of the pole on the sidewalk is your only request, okay? It's an old? Okay. All righty. Any members wish to speak? Okay.
First application is A1604, which is a continued application. The appellant's requesting minimum required parking space dimension variance as well as a minimum driveway width dimensional variance. Question comes on granting the relief requested. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. Corrin? Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? No. No. Mr. Mazzoni is absent. Mr. Colometto? Yes. And Mr. Tucker?
No.
No. It is denied.
Next calendar number?
Next application before the board is application A1605. This is the application of Cavallo Corporation for a number of variances, minimum front, side, and rear yard setbacks, maximum height of structure to enable the appellant to construct a single-family dwelling on lots 129-30 and part lot 128 at 7 Belcher Street, Revere. Question now comes on granting the relief requested. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. Corrin? Yes. Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Mazzoni is absent. Mr. Colometto? Yes. Yes. Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this is granted. Next application before the board is application A1606 of Jeffrey Larson to requesting a side yard setback and maximum principal coverage variance to enable the appellant to convert two separate single-family structures to create a new single-family structure on lot 28 at 19 Pierce Street, Revere. Question now comes on granting the relief requested by the appellant. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. Corrin? Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Mazzoni is absent. Mr. Colometto? Yes. And Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this is granted. Next application before the board is application A1607. Various variances to enable the appellant to construct a one-story retail flower shop on lot North Part 262 Bennington Street, Revere. Question comes on granting the relief requested by the appellant. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. Corrin? Yes. Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Mazzoni is absent. Mr. Colometto? Yes. Yes. Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this is granted. Next application before the board is application A1608. This is the application of PNS Properites LLC with Settipane Mgr, requesting a qualified lot variance to enable the appellant to construct a single-family dwelling on lot 62 Wolcott Road, Revere. Question comes on granting the relief requested. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. Corrin? Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Mazzoni is absent. Mr. Colometto? Yes. And Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, granted, subject to the condition of removal of the school zone sign. No further business. June 22nd.
June 22nd is our next meeting. Thank you and have a good day.